There's a few schools of thought as to how and where to carry the contents of your survival kit. One school subscribes to carrying it all in one place, and the other is to take those contents and break them up and spread them across several layers of clothing and gear. Now, if you choose to carry all the contents of your survival kit in one place, of course that helps with organization, and as long as you pack that before your trip, then oftentimes you are assured that everything is going to be in one place. But if you somehow forget that kit, say in your day pack, back at camp, maybe even in your truck, then you have nothing to help you if you were to spend a night out. Now, carrying the contents spread across multiple layers, that allows you to assure that you at least have something, and if you separate from your pack, then at least you'll have something, or if you don't get back to your camp, at least you'll have something to spend the night. Now, I subscribe to the method of carrying my contents spread across several layers of clothing and equipment, and in the military, we describe this as first, second, and third line gear, and that's broken out in order of priority. So first line gear is essentially your clothing. Clothing is your first line of defense against the elements. So, what we're wearing for that particular environment, for that particular day, is protecting us from the environment, and that's really important. So think clothing, think boots, think a beanie, and gloves. Now, you can certainly carry some minor items of your survival kit on your clothing, especially if you have, certain pockets or places designated for that. And I would say that if you do carry contents on your first line gear, that you carry it in the same place every time so that it's easily checked and that you know it's there. Now, second line equipment is equipment that you want to have on your body at all times when you're away from camp. So for hunters, this is really our bino harness. And the capabilities that I want my second line equipment to do is kind of the minimum amount to let me survive, to let me be somewhat comfortable and not be in a true survival type situation if I had to spend the night out away from camp. So think a shelter, think some communication device, your weapon if you're hunting, the ability to procure and treat water, some basic calories, and then of course the ability to make a fire if we were to need that. Now, third line equipment is equipment that's carried either in your day pack, or if you're moving camp every day, then your main backpack. And this is equipment that is certainly nice to have, and we would certainly want to have that. But this is equipment that we don't necessarily need if we do separate from our pack, if we do separate from our partner, we can do without, but we certainly would appreciate having that if we weren't able to get back to our camp that night. So this would be things like extra clothing. So think puffy jacket and rain gear, possibly a tarp, maybe a stove, water, and more food. So when you're trying to build your kit and you start to assemble it, then you need to decide how you're going to carry it. And I think if you look at the method of carrying it across multiple levels and kind of breaking it out in priority, you're going to be able to not only assure that you're going to have something if you do get caught, if you are in a minor incident or a survival situation, but it's going to help spread the weight, and if you do forget something, you're not going to forget the whole kit. Now, of course, the only way to really know how to do this is to assemble that kit, go out, use it, practice with it, learn that environment, and gain experience.